Hey managers, if you don't want to screw up your UX, listen up. How does crappy UX affect us? It's very easy to destroy the UX. The product is out and people start using it. Suddenly, all the problems arise. Things that seemed obvious. How did we not see this coming? What we don't see is what led to all these decisions. We do not see what constraints the designers had, and we don't see who drove them crazy. So, in this regard, our company went through almost every possible bump in the road, and I can tell you that some things can be avoided. CEOs, product managers, senior UX designers, you can reduce these atrocities. It may not completely avoid the problems because UX is complicated, but it can certainly be reduced. So let's start. What should be avoided? The first mistake is if you're not doing market research. If you think we have no competitors, well, think again. Sure, you have competitors. Sure, other people in the world have thought about it and done it. You may have a new angle. Maybe you could do it much better, but there are competitors and you have to look for them. Until you find them, don't start designing. You must have a reference. You need to find your uniqueness, and on the other hand, you need to have a reference that you can learn from. Market research must also include companies that face similar problems to yours, maybe in other markets. You must have someone to copy from. You can't start everything from scratch. The second mistake is to say that everything is important. Not everything is equally important. To put a list of features in front of the designers and tell them everything is equally important and everything has to be done is just like putting your designers in front of a bottomless pit. You must have priorities. What's more important and what's less important? What can you give up on and what you can't give up on? If there are no priorities, we cannot define what our user should know, what should she feel, and also what we want her to do. All of these are the basis for good user experience. The third mistake is to leave the user testing to the end of the process. With the user research, we ask the questions long before we start designing. We have conclusions and then we start to design for 2, 3, even 4 months. After 4 months, we show it to users, but that's already too late. We need to get to users fast, but not just fast. We need to present a design solution. As product managers and as designers, we need to be able to bring the essence to the users at every stage of the process. In the beginning, in the middle, in the end, hopefully with design screens. Users don't understand wireframes. They just won't understand what you want from them. The fourth mistake, the alignment. How often do we start a process, present it to different stakeholders? Each person throws us in a different direction. Why didn't you ask me first? I would have told you. It's discouraging. It makes us hate our jobs and makes us do bad work. Before you start, there are some key things to agree on. We have to agree where we want to go, what are the key pains we want to solve, how is the user journey going to look like, and what is the unique value proposition we want to provide in our product. If we agree on all of this, we need to write it down in such a way that it will stand out, even hanging in the office. We can save ourselves tons of heartaches and a lot of mistakes. The fifth mistake is to treat each screen individually. UX is a story. It should be treated as a story. When you proofread a book, even linguistic proofreading, you have to refer to the whole book. You have to keep the same tone and the same language and maintain some continuity. These examples help people understand and identify with the story. UX is the same. It's a story that needs to be told. If we look per screen and give our feedback per screen, we don't understand the context and the bigger picture. That way, we can destroy the UX. We often send screens for review, get comments on the screen, and then those comments confuse us. Always send your screens or ask to get screens in context. The sixth mistake. The sixth mistake is to make a million rounds of repairs. Chances are, if you do more than 2 rounds of repairs, you destroy the design. Once the product is out, we'll get different remarks on the design. Chances are that the comments you think are super important are not the most important ones. You can only know for sure once your product is in the hands of the users, and then they tear it apart and we go crazy. But at least you know you're dealing with the right and real problems. The last mistake. The last mistake is to micromanage your designers. If you manage designers, you must give them some space and let them do their work. Once you start telling them to put a button here, make it green, wait, no, make it blue, and change the text. Once you start doing that, you make their lives harder and they won't be able to do their job. They'll be emotionally disconnected. And that is the last thing you need. If they're emotionally disconnected, they can't empathize with the users, and that is what makes a good UX. If you are designers, you can pass this video on and improve your life. At least, I hope so. I'd love to hear from you. What tips do you have for design managers? What are the most common mistakes that you have seen? And what's the best way to avoid them? Let me know in the comments below. Be sure to subscribe to our awesome channel and get more design, product, UX, and design sprint tips and tools. See you next Wednesday. Bye!